Hello guys, can you hear me? Okay, the ad is playing for myself, so I guess I should be audible right now. Sorry for the blurriness of the webcam. As you know, it's damaged. I have another webcam though that I can use next time maybe. But this one has some issues as well. I mean, this has some noise. But anyway, for now we stick to this. How is it going? Let's do Leetcode, yeah. Let's do Leetcode. Today guys, we start with 2 easy problems of Leetcode, and which are trivial. I mean, we will completely analyze that, what they are, and then we will move on. At the end, we will solve also 3 hard Leetcode problems, which are really beautiful, and I'm sure that you will completely understand the solutions. So if you guys are ready, we can get going and start solving the problems. Also, I'm not bad. Please do all topic streams for competitive programming. This is also, I mean, the same. It's still what we are solving. These are the exact same ideas. And if you are on Codeforces or you are on Leetcode, the main ideas are the same. I mean, you should just wait and see the hard problems that we're gonna solve to see what I'm talking about. What company do you work for? I can tell you that in the future, maybe. I work for a startup right now. I'm stuck around 1400 for a while and I am 21. Am I too old for this rating? No, definitely not. I mean, that's complicated, especially if you're looking for job interviews, you want to learn data structures and algorithms. For job interviews, that definitely help you. And you have a lot of time. I'm 25 right now. How to delete code problems? Please don't spam. Okay, sure, yes, I will. I will make a list of important questions for each topic. Hi Ram, and thank you for supporting the channel. Yes, today's problems are good for CP. You will understand what I'm talking about when I start to solve the hard problems at the end. Okay, sure. We will get to segment 3 as well. Shall we start talking about the problems of today? If you guys are ready, let's see that how many people have joined. I think maybe some people, 57 people are here so far. So maybe we can start talking about the topics today. As you can see, I have 8 problems here, and I hope that we can manage time to get to solve all of these problems. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. Yes, we will talk about this. Okay, let's start from the first problem. Let's bring this here first. The first problem, guys, is an easy Leetcode problem. We'll completely discuss that what it wants, and we will even accept it. And I don't think it won't take that much time, and you will completely understand it very fast. So let me tell you about the first problem. The first problem from Leetcode is 2-sum. I'll send you the problem here. I will add these problems in the description of this video as well when the live stream is ended. So it says that given an array of integers, nums, and targets, targets return indices of 2 numbers such that they add up to targets. You may assume that each input would have exactly 1 solution, and you may not use the same element twice. You can return the answer in any order. This is a problem that maybe even many of you have seen before as well. So we basically want to find two numbers such that they sum up to targets. For example, in here the first and second element, 2 and 7, they sum up to 9. So we should output 0 and 1 because it's zero-based index. So what do you think we can do? First, I want to ask yourself, what do you think we can do when you look at this? What do you think we should do? Two-pointer is a good idea, yes, but there's also a simpler approach that everyone starts thinking about as well. Exactly, map would work as well. Exactly. So there are two solutions. I want to talk about both of the solutions as well because each one of them have their own points. The first one is to use maps or hash maps. They're also called hash maps. Let me make it a bit thicker. No, it's too thick. Hash maps or maps. What do we do? The point is that we will iterate over all the elements, and for each element of nums, for example, we see nums of I, we define a map and we map this number to this index. For example, we say that MP of nums of I is equal to I. So this way, for each number, we know that if it exists or not in our array, and if it exists, where is it exactly? And then we can have another for on all the elements, another for loop on all the elements, and for each element, if its value is some x, we should just test if targets minus x is in the array. If it was in the array, it's just enough to output this index, for example, I and MP of target minus x, if MP had target minus x. So we could say that, for example, if mp.find of target minus x was not equal to mp.end, it means that it exists. Or we could also say if mp.count of target minus x, if you code in C++. And if that happened, we could just see out print I and target minus x, mp of target minus x. So this is the first solution, but I also have another solution that I will discuss as well. That one is even more beautiful. I will discuss that one as well, and I will even accept that problem, implement that very quickly. So far, if it is completely clear, please put a plus in the chats or use this emoji. Sure, numbers are and what we really excited. Thank you very much. That's great. Is all topic streams Fridays? They are supposed to be on Fridays, but sometimes there will be some minor adjustments. But now I'm trying to make all of them on Fridays. Awesome. Awesome. So it looks like it's clear for everyone. If you had any questions, also you can ask me in here. That's completely okay. If anything was not completely clear. Okay, so now let me tell you about the second solution as well, that I believe is even more beautiful. The second solution that we can use here is to first sort all the elements. You should just have one thing in mind. Yes, accept. You should have just one thing in mind, and that is that the indices are important. As you see, at the end you should output the indices. So you should keep in mind that when you sort the elements, you should not lose the indices. So maybe you can keep, for example, pairs or tuples if you use other languages. And next to each number, keep that what index it had as well. But anyway, if you sort the elements, what you can do is this. You can have a for, as long as they are sorted in increasing order. You can have two pointers, one pointer that goes from the beginning and each time it goes forward by 1. And one pointer that you will move it to left as long as the sum of these two elements is greater than the target. Maybe let me change this a little bit like this. And I think I should move a little bit. Okay, so basically what I say is this. Okay, the phone got disconnected completely. Let me. Okay, it's working for now. I say that as long as this element plus the element that the other pointer is pointing to was greater than my target, I say that I will move target to the left. So because the sum is more than what I want, but I have to move the target to the pointer to the left such that that element gets smaller. Because right now it's greater than what it should be, and they do not sum up to target. So as long as that happened, I will move the right target leftward. Let me illustrate it on an example. For example, consider the first example. We have 2, 7, 11, and 15. For example, we start from this 2. The other pointer is at the beginning as 15, at the end. I see that 2 plus 15 is 17. So this 15 is not useful anymore because its sum with 2 is greater than my target, which is 9. And definitely this I only goes forward. So in the future, this pointer is not useful as well. Always its sum with I, with nums of I, with what I is on, it's gonna be greater than target. So I should definitely make it smaller. I should move it to left. And again here I see that the sum is 13. Again greater than what it should be. So again I move it to left. In here I see that their sum is 9, which is what I want. So I will just return these two indices. This was an example that we reached the answer very quickly. But it could be even more complex than that. For example, it could be 1, 4, 5, 7, and 9. In this and as soon as target is still 9. We start with I here and pointer in here. We see that they sum up to 10. So this target is, this pointer is giving us a large number. So I should move it leftward. So it comes here. Now I see that the sum is 8. It's not more than target, but it's not equal to target as well. So I don't do anything. I go to the next I. I see that here in this I, we have the value in the position I and target to have sum greater than 9. So I should again move target leftward. And in here I see that they sum up exactly to target. So I have the indices that I want exactly. So it gives me the answer that I want exactly. So I will return these two indices. So the point is that each time, as long as target is, as long as pointer shows us a number that is too large for us, we will move it leftward because we know that those are not helpful for us. They sum up to some number that is greater than the target that we want. So we should go to smaller values. But if it was less than that, then we move I forward. And if it was equal, then these two indices give us the answer. So that's complete. Again, we have the answer in that situation. Is it clear what I'm saying? I will quickly implement it as well. So far, is it clear what? Yes, we need indices of the original array. Exactly. That's why I said that at the beginning, we should not lose the indices. It's good to keep pairs that each pair shows the value of this element and the index of it. So this way you can easily find that out. We can do it on Python as well. I don't know which one you guys prefer. But maybe it's better to just do it in one language. Don't spend time on both of them. Exactly. If sum is greater, move right pointer left toward left. Otherwise, move left pointer to the right. Okay, which language do you prefer to code it in? Python or C++? Let's have a quick democracy. Just choose between Python and C++. 1. I think the next person that chooses can C++. You can even suggest other languages as well if you want. Yeah, if you want, you can send your solution as well. I can show it very quickly. Okay, I guess C++ is more. It's again equal. Maybe let me implement it in C++ very soon, and then I'll show you this Python solution as well. Let's just quickly do it because we have to move on these problems sooner if we want to reach the hard parts. So it's like this, you know, basically pay attention to it because Python is exactly like this as well. Python is exactly the same way. Only the way that you write each line is going to be different, but the core idea is exactly the same. So what I do at the beginning is to define some vector that has pair of int and int. Let's name it values, okay? And in which I will output, let's also define n as nums.size, such that this way it would be easier. I++, in values, I will push back pair of nums of I and I. So I will keep track of the indices as well. And then I will sort values, values.begin, values.end. In values, I have both the numbers and the indices. And then I will have a for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I++. Now I will have my 2 pointer. I will define another pointer as well, which starts from n minus 1. In here, I say that while ptr was greater than 0, I could also say while ptr. That would also work. It means that ptr is non-zero. And values of I dot first plus values of ptr dot first is greater than targets. I say ptr minus minus. While these two values sum up to some value greater than targets, we will decrease 1 from ptr. And after that, if values of I dot first plus values of ptr.first was exactly equal to targets, I have to just return their second, values of I.second and values of ptr.second. So I will just simply define a vector of int of answer. I say answer.pushback values of I.second, answer.pushback values of ptr.second, and return answer. And at the end also we just can return some empty vector as well, just because otherwise it gives us error. That's why it's non-void and it's not returning anything. Now let me first run it to see if I have a bug or not. There's an additional R in here. So let me now submit it as well. It seems like on the cases, it's giving us correct answer in the test cases, and in general, it gets accepted as well. So it's just a 2-pointer solution that each time we start from the beginning, go forward from the other part. We will go backward, and each time we will see that if targets, how do they sum up? It's greater than targets, equal to targets, or less than targets. And based on that, we move these 2 pointers. And at the end, we will find the two numbers such that they will sum up to the current element. Can you do dark theme? I don't like dark theme because we have got used to writing and reading black font on white paper since childhood. How to be 100% memory? I don't know, but it's not that important, I think, on this problem. But you know why our memory is not very good? Because we are defining another vector as well. But because it's of n, the complexity of it does not make any difference. So it's still good. I mean, in general, it's no issue because its complexity is the same. If the complexity was worse, we usually just consider the complexity of what memory and time. That's the most important thing. So if we were defining something of size n log n, for example, that was worse. But because it's of n, it's okay. Okay, do you have any Python solutions that you want me to show very quickly as well? Or shall we move on to the next problem? Please tell us how to solve question number 4 in contest. Yes, sure. I mean, we will move on to hard problems of Leetcode today, and you will see how to solve those problems. Shouldn't CF be better than Leetcode? CF is better version of Leetcode. Leetcode has very beautiful problems as well. Codeforces and Leetcode are both good, but I mean, a little bit the culture on them is different. On Leetcode, people are usually looking for jobs. On Codeforces, people are into competitive programming so much. I think there's no limit of when should you start Codeforces. I mean, right now you can start Codeforces. I myself started Codeforces with zero knowledge and just started solving problems from the beginning. You can watch the videos that are about how to start on Codeforces and the things that you should do, things you should not do to get out of newbie at the beginning there. Okay, sure, yes, we will move on to that as well. We'll talk, I mean, in the next topic streams, we can cover other topics as well. You can join our Telegram channel. Let me send the link to the Telegram channel. You can join the Telegram channel and participate in the votes for topic streams. I have two beautiful hard problems today. Okay, so shall we move on to the next problem? It seems like no one sent a Python solution. Maybe, but here there must be a Python solution by someone. If you take a look at it, this is a Python solution. It says that it just defines a hash map, and what it does is this: for I and num in intermediates of nums, we say that complement is equal to target minus num. If complement was in num map, you will simply return num map of complement and I. Otherwise, you don't return anything and just say that num map of num is equal to I. So that's the whole thing. So by throwing a hash map at the problem will be completely solved. So this was also a very simple Python solution. Okay, shall we move on to the next problem? Really quick. I really want to manage time this time on the topic stream. I want to start competitive programming and I want to take it as a serious job. Please give me some important tips. Sure, guys. Definitely go to watch the existing videos as well, because if I want to repeat, I will repeat the same things again. So I have said what you should do in these videos, in these guideline videos. If I want to tell you again, I will tell the exact same things here. Do we really need math for CP? Yes, we need math for CP. And if you take a look at, let me also send you the topic streams. In the topic streams, this stream is also one of these topic streams. We have defined, for example, number theory as well, which is one of the important mathematic parts of mathematics that is important in competitive programming. You should watch them, and if you want to be more serious, if you both want to support the channel and you want to get more from the channel, you can also consider joining the channel. You can just click on this button and just join the channel. I have said that's what you get in each tier. Maybe in future I will, in this stream, maybe a bit later, I will talk more about it. But for now, let's manage time and move on to the next problem. Okay. Good. Okay. Yes, so under the Telegram channel. Good. Thank you. So let's move on to the next problem. Time management. Given two strings S and T, return true if T is anagram of S and false otherwise. Anagram just means that if they consist of same characters. For example, this one in here, this one has 3 A's. This one also has 3 A's. This one has 1G, this one has 1G, this one has 1R, this one has 1R. So it means that from each character, they should have the same number of that character. So you have to say that if these two strings are anagram or they're not. What should we do? Just, I want you to solve it very quickly. This is another Leetcode easy problem. So what do you think we should do? You can create a hash map, partially due to the AI related problems, I guess. Okay, yeah. Sort both and compare, exactly. You can also throw a set at it, that's also right, but sorting is very simple. Guys, the point is that if they have the same number of each characters, if you sort them both, they will be exactly equal. Why? Because in both of them, if you sort both S and T, their A's come to the beginning. So there will be exactly 3 A's at the beginning of this, 3 A's at the beginning of this. After that, their G will appear. So there will be 1G after 3 A's in this and 1G after 3 A's in this, and so on. So the point is that if you sort them, if they have the same number of each character, they will be exactly equal. So basically what you can do is this. Simply you say that sort s.begin, s.end, sort t.begin, t.end, return s equal to t. That's all. You sort them and see that if they are equal. And this is one of those problems that in a contest you see that people accept in less than a minute. And it's accepted. So that's all. You just sort this one, and you say that if they are equal or not. You could do it with a better time complexity as well. The time complexity of what we did here was the length of S and T times log, because we have sort. But we could also keep counter of how many of each elements do we have, because I think all of them, yes, all of them are lowercase English letters. You should also, if you wanted to do it in of the length of S and T, not the length times log, you could have just have int of C and T of length 26 and have a 4i from 0 to, let's define n as the length of S. Or let's say this, s.size I plus plus. You could just say that cnt of s of I minus a plus plus for int of I less than t dot size I plus plus cnt of ti minus a, let's say minus minus, and then at the end for int of I equal to 0 I less than 26 I plus plus. If cnt of I was non-zero, return false. Otherwise, simply return true. It means that if at the end, for each character we know that how many times it has appeared in S minus how many times it has appeared in T. And if anything was non-zero, then it means that they are not anagrams. And this gets accepted as well. You see that the time is now a lot better, because now we don't have size of S times log, it's just of size of S. So we could do this too. The previous one was very easy to implement. I mean, it was just 3 lines. I want to join Future Grandmaster. Can you guide me to expert in 6 months? Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's about being a future Grandmaster, so definitely. If you join Future Grandmaster, you will be in contact with me personally, and we will plan together. Thanks a lot for live stream on Leetcode contest. Sure. No problem. I hope that it will help you guys. Okay, if it is clear completely, use this emoji or put a plus. And guys, if this is something that you're okay with, you can support me by liking the video. You can just come here and press just this like button if you really like this video. If you don't, that's completely okay. But if you like and it's okay for you to do that, there wouldn't be any problems. I would appreciate it if you like it. It can support this video. What's your thought on Caesar ladder? Is it good? We can discuss these things while our obvious AI cheaters not banned on Leetcode on our code forces. We'll discuss this thing. My rating in code forces is 1150. Should I learn now to improve? I have done 800 plus 700. Yes, I mean, if you want to improve in code forces as well, this channel is basically for both Leetcode and Codeforces, because this channel is basically about competitive programming, algorithms, and data structures. So I believe that both of them have correlation to each other. I mean, if you get better at Codeforces, you get better at Leetcode as well. If you get better at Leetcode, you get better at Codeforces as well. The main difference between Leetcode and Codeforces is that Leetcode is, in general, a bit easier than Codeforces, and the culture is a bit different as well. For example, in Leetcode, people are looking for jobs mostly. In Codeforces, people are usually looking to participate in competitions like IOI, ICPC. And by the way, I wore the ICPC t-shirt today as well. Nothing we can do now. My master is not to reach the level of Grandmaster so that AI won't. Let's see what happens. Yes, I mean, I have said a lot of things in the videos, in the guideline videos, about the things that you have to do and you don't have to do, especially at the beginning when you want to get out of newbie. And also I've told you that how did I get from newbie to expert in 3 months. This is my own chart in Codeforces. You can see that in 3 months, in less than even 3 months, in around 2 months, I guess, I got from newbie to expert, and after 3 months I got rank 4 in a contest, which was my greatest achievement back then. I was in high school back then. It's like 2015. Okay, so yes, let's move on to the next problem. Do some time management. So we have seen, so far we have seen 2 Leetcode easy problems. Let's now move on to the next problem, which is a medium problem. It says that given a string S, find the length of the longest substring without duplicate characters. So we have to find the longest substring. A substring is a continuous part of a string. It should be a subsequence, can be not continuous, but a substring is continuous. You have to find the longest substring without duplicate elements, characters. So the main idea in this problem is like this. We want to move forward. So let's see that how we should process the intuition of solving this problem. We don't want to have duplicate elements. So whenever you see some element like X, it means that if you had an X before, definitely if this X is in your substring should be started after that previous X. So if you see, for example, some X here, consider the previous X that you have seen. Your substring definitely should start after this now. It cannot start before this. So it's like you always have some lower bound on where your substring should start. So what you can do is this. You can just have a for on all the elements. Whenever you see a character, you just see that what was the last time that you see that character. Where was that? The last appearance of that character. And you have some lower bound on the beginning of your substring. Let's say that, for example, this is your left of your substring. Assume that you are moving your right forward. You are saying that, okay, my right is here. Definitely, you should each time say that left must be at least the index of the previous X plus 1. So it's like you just say left is equal to maximum of the current left and the previous appearance of X plus 1. And this time, each time you know that for each right, what is the leftmost left that you can have, such that none of these elements gets repeated. For each element that you see, you make sure that the left is after the previous appearance of this. Each time you say that left is equal to maximum of current left, it means that if left was after it, just leave it there. But if left was before it, just move it to maximum of length and the last appearance of X plus 1. That's very simple, and I can also implement it as well, I think. And it only consists of, S consists of English letters, digits, symbols, and spaces. That makes it a bit more complicated, but it's okay. I keep a map. So I keep a map of character to int, which I call it last, the last time that I see anything. And then I say left at the beginning, I set it to be 0, and I say for int of right equal to 0, right less than. Let's also define n as s.size. I say that right plus plus. First, I say that if last dot count of s of right, I say that left is equal to maximum of left and last of s of right plus 1. And then I say that at the end I should update last of s of right to be in here. And I also say that ans is equal to maximum of ans and right minus left plus 1. And at the end I will just return ans, return the answer. Let's see if I don't have any bug. So basically, as I move right forward, each time I will just make sure that this this should be right here, not I. Each time that I will move right forward, I should make sure that my left is after the previous appearance of that specific character. I ran it again. Submit. And it got accepted. So basically, I have another for that I will move it forward, and each time I say that if I saw some character, I will make sure that the previous character, my left is after previous character. Each time I have the leftmost possible left that works for me, that I'm sure that it works. I need to make duplicate characters. Is it clear? If it's clear for you, please use this emoji or put a plus in the chat. Otherwise, 5 or 6 days before this problem was asked in Amazon interview. That's interesting. The same problem was asked in Amazon interview? Or you're talking about another problem? That's interesting. Are you following some sort of list that you're solving? I've chosen problems myself. I've chosen the best problems that we can. I chosen the best problems that we can discuss here. I was asked the problem in a Google OA. I see. Cool. Have my Google Onsites in a few days. I see. Cool. So this problem that we just discussed was discussed in an Amazon interview very recently, 5 or 6 days ago. And you saw that's how easily it can be solved. It was almost nothing. Okay, good. So, shall we move on to the next problem? Accepted. Okay, shall we move on? I think we can solve one more problem and then we are at the middle of our 8 problems. Although the second mid is harder. We get to hard problems as well, but you see that how simply hard problems can be solved as well. Okay. Let's talk about the next problem, the 4th problem, group anagrams. This is a harder version of this one. I mean, this is very similar to this one, but it's harder. This time, you are not given 2 strings. You are given an array of strings, and you have to group the anagrams together. And you can return the answer in any order. So you have these strings, and all the anagrams must be grouped together. For example, 8 and eat and t are all anagrams, so they will be one group. NAT, NAT, and TAN are in the same group, BAT is also alone in its own group. So the main idea here is that in the previous problem, we saw that 2 strings are anagrams. If we sort them, they will be exactly the same. Only if we sort them, they will be exactly the same. So the main idea that I can use here as well is this. I can just consider the sorted version of each of these strings. For example, for this one it will be AET. For this one it will be AET. Let me just write them all. So I have it, I wouldn't put the quotations anymore here for the simplicity, and I will switch to tablets just after writing. 8, nat, and bats. So these are the things that we have. These are the elements that we have in our strings. We sort, if we sort all of them, this will be AET, this will be AET, this will be ATN. I hope that I wrote it correctly. If I made a mistake, let me know. And ATN, ABT. Right? So you can see that the strings that are anagrams, they will have the same string when we sort them. Right? They will give us the same strings when we sort them. So the main point is that I can have a vector for each of these anagrams, and I can sort each, I can store each of these strings in that vector that is considered for that anagram, the sorted version of that anagram. This way, all these three will be stored in the same vector. These two will be stored in the same vector, and this one will be stored in the vector of ABT. So basically what I can do is just this, have a vector, and only in that vector I can just store all of these elements. Vector of pair of string and int, source then group and return original values. Yes, also that can be worked. All of the strings are on the same length? I don't think so. I don't think they are of the same length. It's not necessary for them. No, nothing is said about that. We can, yes, for example, we can have a vector of pair of string and int and source them. That's one thing that we can do, yes. Or we can have maps, or let's do the exact idea that Bamidi Pati said. Let's talk about this one. Let's do it in the same way that he suggested. We can just have a vector of pair of string and int of vec. And then have a for I less than. We need n again, strs dot size. I say I plus plus, and then I will say that let's make a copy of this string. Let's say that t is equal to strs of I, and then sort t does begin, t does end, and then in vectors we will push back pair of t and I. So I will push back the pair of the sorted version of t and I, and we know that each of them have length at most 100, and there are 10 to the power of 4 elements in total. After that, I will sort vector, my vector, sort vectors begin, vectors end, and then I will have another for I equal to 0, I less than, and I plus plus. I will also create my vector of string of ants. I can say that if I was equal to 0 or vec of I dot first was not equal to vec of I minus 1 dot first. If it was 0, it means that it is creating another group of anagrams for us, because it's the first one. It cannot be grouped with anything else. Or if it was not, its first was not equal to the previous one's first. That also means that it cannot be grouped the same as the previous one. It should make a new anagram. So in both of these cases, it should create another anagram. We can just say that vector of int of tmp, we create a temporary vector, we push back I to it here, we push back the index, let's say not I, vec of I dot second, the index of this one in it, and we can then after that, or let's say strs of vec of I dot second, so it exactly gives us what was the initial string that we had. So we push back strs of vec of I dot second, and then say that ans.pushback tmp. Otherwise, we can just say that ans.back is gonna be the last vector that we have in ans. This should go to the same vector. It should go to ans, the vector that we have in ans.back. We say that ans.back.pushback these elements, str's of vec of I dot second, and at the end we can just simply return ans. Let's run this. Let's see if it works. Why I defined it as an int. It's a string, sorry. Another. How did I define TM? Oh, why I define everything as ints? My mind is somewhere else. Okay. So it's just basically we define these strings, and this gets accepted. We just define these anagrams by just sorting each of the strings, and we push back to our vector pair of this sorted string and this index. And when we sort this, it's just enough to start from the beginning for the first character, and for the first string, and all the ones that are not equal to the previous ones, they will start another anagrams. So I will just create another vector, push it back to ans. Otherwise, I will just push back this last one to the last vector that I have in ans right now. Oh, yes. Which problems I didn't send? I can also send you my solutions as well, the link to my solutions, so that you can see my codes. These are my submissions for these last 3 problems that I didn't, I guess, send their links. Yes, from the next one I will send the statement as well at the beginning. I forgot to send the statements for these problems. And also, have you already solved them, or are you solving them right now? No, I've read them before. I've read them before joining the stream. I think for the first 2 I also accepted them. For the rest I didn't accept them. I just read them and I'm implementing them here, these 2. But no, I've read them and I've chosen them. Tell about membership plans. Okay, sure. I think now that we have managed the time good. I mean, we have solved 4 problems and we have implemented them. It's good. So maybe, yeah, we can talk about the membership. Can you make a video on DP on digits? Yes. I will, as I said, you can join the Telegram channel. I will put all these in votes. And bi-weekly, 1 week, the votes of the next topic stream is going to be in the Telegram channel. 1 week it's going to be among the members. Let me refresh the page for a second. And thank you guys for liking the video. Centered decomposition. Yeah, I remember that from the beginning. I think someday I should do this centered decomposition regardless of what people say, just for you, because you said it so many times and you deserve it. Very helpful, and thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Guys, the memberships plans are like this. You can join from here. I say it very quickly to get back to the problems afterwards. The tier 1 is just a supporter, although you will get some perks in response. But if you want to support it, its price is different in different countries. For example, in the US, it's 99 cents, but in India, it's I think 34 cents or something like that. It's 1/3 of in the first tier. And if you believe that this channel is really bringing you this value, and if you want to support us to be able to just surpass our barriers and be able to move on to the next level, I would really appreciate that. This way you can really help this channel to be able to grow and be able to create more contents. Because right now we have so many issues regarding that, so many limits, barriers, that we needed to do this step in order to move on and go to the next level with the channel. Otherwise, the channel was really close to die because we were facing so many issues. So I would really appreciate it if you can do that. If you cannot, that's totally okay. If you want to support the channel and for any reason you can't, that's completely understandable, and I would still appreciate that a lot. If you become a supporter, you will get custom emojis like ORs accepted, great explanation, next problem. And you will get a badge, a star next to your name in the chats. As you can see, some people have it right now. Shayan's problem of the week. Each week I will send you a problem that you can solve on that week. I will choose a very good problem that can really help you grow and can cover a basic topic that is very important, that is super important for you on that week. Bi-weekly you will have vote on topic streams. You will choose that what I will cover, and you will have course discounts. Just put all these aside. In this course discount, I will make sure that you will get your money back, and more than your money back. So I mean, whatever you spend, I'm sure that you will have, once that the course is released, you will get some discounts that will be more than what you spent, because you are basically the ones who made it possible to release this course. So I would give you some discounts so that you will get at least your money back as part of this channel and all the things that we've done. So this is the first tier. The second tier is problem solving. You have earlier access to new videos, and a new video is gonna be released very soon. Very soon, just wait for it. Very soon it will be released. A curated problem set that will be sent to you. Will get a problem set each week. You have access to past member content, and you have behind the scenes sneak peeks. There are some funny videos that are happening behind the scenes. I rather not releasing it to the public. I just release it to people which are closer, maybe in this tier and above. And you have weekly contests. So that weekly you will have a contest. I will have that on a Codeforces group, and I will add you guys to the Codeforces group, and I am setting them for Saturdays. So tomorrow is the first contest of this channel. So please, if you are a member of this, please check your community post today. You have to send me your Codeforces account so that I add you to the group. And then you have Fast Learner, which is it has focused private live streams monthly. That is only for these people. Monthly video by your choice. I will create one video by your choice. Early access and even higher discounts for courses. Since you are spending more, you will get higher discounts for courses, so to make sure that you get your money back. I will answer your questions just after closing. I cannot see if you're asking questions. Study plan of the month that will be released, and member shoutouts, and your name will be will appear at the end of the video so that everyone know who made these content possible. And the last one, which is the best package, is Future Grandmaster, that you will have private Discord and Telegram group with me, and we will talk that which one do you prefer to be on that. And a personal training plan, you will be in contact with me. We will plan together about what you should do, and we talk usually daily. And milestone shoutouts, if you were okay with that, once you hit different milestones, I will shout that out if you want it, and if you didn't want that, that's totally fine too. These are about the memberships. If you have any questions, you can tell me. Is there a lot of cracked Codeforcers on the Telegram? I think, yeah, a lot of people. I mean, right now 5,000 people are following the Telegram channel, and around 1,000 people are in the group. And most of them are participating in both Leetcode and Codeforces. Let's see, waiting for in stream on interactives. Thank you so much. Please release the content of member-only live streams to watch for non-members also. Well, we have for non-members topic streams weekly. So, I mean, we have these weekly topic streams for everyone. That is something that I'm trying to do in addition to that, to somehow do something for people who are joining the membership and supporting the channel and making more content possible. So this is something in addition to that I'm trying to add it to what we have already. There is no option to join except credit debit card. I would have joined the problem solver one. I see. Teach problem based on convex hull. I will put that in the votes. And will there be no longer any contest in the current group of CF, in the current CF group? No, there will be a contest on the current CF group as well, but it depends on what is the topic. But on the topic streams that we have, especially if it's for some specific topic, I will have some problems on Codeforces that you can. Before the topic streams, there are some contests that are just related to that specific topic stream. That will not be taken away of anyone. We will keep having that. But this is something in addition to that. This is some weekly contest that is in general. It's not about some specific topic or anything like that. These are the main important problems that cover some specific important pattern and topics will be in those contests. Can you make DP problem sets? I will think about that. Maybe I can add it as a perk, or maybe I can do it for everyone. It depends. I should see that. Okay. Yes, that is definitely helpful. But in general, I think that you should try to solve a lot of problems both on Leetcode or Codeforces, whatever platform that you are on. If you have watched my previous live streams, you have heard this before so many times. The point is that it's not even important that this problem is only discussed in that specific company's interview or not. By solving so many problems, your ability to solving problems will increase. So the main point is that you have to solve problems to get better in solving problems. So the main point, the reason that we are having these topic streams, that we are solving these problems before, is that you get used to these new patterns, you understand them well. And this will help you a lot. I mean, I believe that you should have a plan so that daily you will solve some problems. You will solve some problems daily, each day. Okay, shall we move on to the fifth problem now? I think now we can move on to the fifth problem, the last medium problem. The next problem is going to be hard. Okay, it says that given an integer array nums, return an array answer such that answer of I is equal to the product of all the elements of nums except nums of I. The product of any prefix or suffix of nums is guaranteed to fit in a 32-bit integer. You must write an algorithm that runs in O of n time and without using the division operation. So first let me tell you a wrong solution and why it is wrong. I mean, a wrong solution that uses division. We could just multiply all the numbers. I mean, when we want the product of all the numbers except one, we could just multiply all the numbers and each time just divide it by that specific number. And this would give us exactly that, what is the product of other numbers except this one. But the point is that there's one issue with this, and that is that it might have number 0. I mean, our array might have number 0. And if it has 1, 0, for example, if this one is 0 and the rest are non-zero, the total product will be 0. And when you divide it by 0, it is undefined and it would cause so many issues. So the point is that if you have a 0, that would cause issues. And that wouldn't let you to do division to find the final answer. Yes, so you should be careful about dividing by 0. There are some ways to fix that, it's making some adjustments, but there is a better way to do. And because this problem also don't want you to use division operation. It's told to you to not use division operation. So it's like you're in an interview and the interviewer is asking you to not use division operation. The point is that we know that the problem statement in itself has some hint for you. It's saying that the product of any prefix or suffix of nums is guaranteed to fit in a 32-bit integer. It's saying itself that you must calculate the prefix or suffix of nums, the product of suffix, prefix, and suffix of nums. It's kind of giving you the hint. It's telling you that, okay, these numbers fit in 32-bit integers. So if you want to calculate it, you can calculate it. It's kind of hinting you to use that. So what do we do? What I do is that I want to calculate the product of all the prefixes. So for each prefix, let's consider an example. For example, the first example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I will calculate the product of each prefix. It will be 1, 2, 6, and 24, the product of each prefix. And I will also calculate the product of each suffix. This will be 4, this will be 12, this will be 24, and this will be 24. And then for each number, if I want to calculate the product of all the numbers except this one, I can just say that it will be the product of this suffix by this prefix. I mean, the product except one element is going to be the product of this suffix and this prefix. And I already know that the product of suffixes and prefixes. So I can simply just multiply these two numbers and this gives me the final answer. And because each one of them fits in a 32-bit integer, it means that the product of even all numbers fit in a 32-bit integer as well. The total answer will fit in the 32-bit integer as well. So this gives us the correct answer. So because each one of them, I mean, there's one specific case that came to my mind now. I think that you still should define your answer as a 64-bit integer or long. Why? Because this is integer and this is integer. Their product will be long, and also even though it says that each prefix and each suffix fits into 32-bit integers, and this gives us a feeling that, okay, even the product of all the numbers fits into integer as well. But the point is that maybe we have a 0 in the middle. We have a 0 in the middle, and we have some numbers here that the product fits in 32-bit integers, and in here as well. Then all prefix and all suffixes have this situation. But the product of these two will not fit in int. You should define long. I hope that I made this clear. So if you use Python, it's okay, you don't need to worry about it. But if you use C++, I think you should use long. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Yes, basically it's prefix of I minus 1 times suffix of I plus 1. So, is it clear? If it's clear, please put the plus or use this emoji again. If it's not, let me know. Do you hear this siren? I don't think you can hear this. Okay. So, let me tell you how we can implement this. So basically, I define two vectors, vector of int of prefixes and suffixes. At the beginning, I will push back a 1 at the beginning of each one of them. Pref.pushback 1, pref.pushback, suff.pushback I. This is the product of an empty set. So I will define an empty suffix and empty prefix before others. So it's like I have, oh, I didn't switch to code. It's good that I saw this. I will add one additional one in here as well. That is for an empty suffix, and one here that is for an empty prefix. This is for case when we choose something in here, we have something to, it's like an empty suffix to the right of it, so we have to multiply 1. And if we choose this one, we have an empty prefix to the left of it, so we have to multiply in 1. So this is what I do. I will define prefix and suffix, and then at the beginning I will push back 1 to them, which is for empty prefixes and suffixes. And for this one I will say that for int of I equal to 0, let's define n as nums.size again, I less than n I plus plus, pref dot pushback, pref of, or let's say pref dot back times nums of I. Each time I push back the last elements times nums of I, and in here I have for I equal to n minus 1, I greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus, pref or suf dot pushback, suf dot back times nums of I. And then I will have a for on all the elements. I can also, maybe it's not bad to reverse suf dot begin. We could do it without reversing as well, but maybe it makes it a bit more clear if we reverse suf dot begin, suf dot end. Such that, for example, suf of 0 is not the product of from 0, element number 0 to the rest. Now you can just see that if I have for I less than I equal to an I less than an I plus plus, let's define vector of. In here, as I said, you should define long lengths of ans. Long of, let's say ans dot pushback 1 ll times 1 ll is to make it long. Just multiply 1 ll to make it long. The prefix of all the elements before I, you can see that it's pref of I. Pref of I has elements from 0 to I minus 1. For example, pref of 0 has nothing. Pref of 1 has only 0. Pref of 2 has 0 and 1. Pref of 3 has 0, 1, 2, and so on. So you should multiply pref of I, which is all the elements before I, and we have to multiply it. Suf of I plus 1 also has all the elements starting from I plus 1 going forward. So multiplied by suf of I plus 1. So you should just be very careful about what pref of I means. I can see it here. Pref of I means all the elements exactly before I. Strictly before I. But suf of I means that it includes I as well. Suf of I, you can see that with how we defined. For example, suf of 0 has nums of 0. We can simply at the end return ans. Let's see if I have any bugs. I have some bug. I think it's because I defined it as long. Maybe the problem itself doesn't have that test case that it would be long. Let's see if it's because of that. Yeah, it's works. So let's submit it. This gets accepted. But I believe that if you give an int, it could get a wrong answer. I think we can generate a test case such that the answer needs to be long. Just consider this example. Let me say it as a bonus point as well. I think that this is a tiny issue with the problem. A very tiny issue. For example, our numbers could be 2 to the power of 31 minus 1, and then 0, and 2 to the power of 31 minus 1. Okay, if we had these three numbers, you can see that all prefix sums fit in 32 bits integers. This would be 2 to the power of 31 minus 1, this would be 0, this would be 0. All the suffixes, the product of suffixes fit into 32 bits integers as well. But the final answer for this one doesn't fit in integer. It fits in long. So that's why there exists a case that the answer might not fit into an integer. Because the problem statement doesn't explicitly says that the product of all the numbers, all the non-zero numbers fit into a 32-bit integer. But anyway, it is not covered in the test cases. Is it completely clear? Yes, I mean, the problem is designed in a way that it won't be long ever. It's designed to be int, but I think that's a tiny issue because there exists a way that it will not fit in in integer. Yes, it is generated such that answer of I is guaranteed to fit in a 32-bit integer. Yes. Yeah, maybe. Yes. So if it's completely clear for you guys, we can now move on to the next problem. Ask me question if you have any questions about this part, otherwise we can move on to the next problem now. And we are getting to hard problems finally. Now we are going to solve some hard Leetcode problems. Let's move on to the next problem, trapping rainwater. This is our first hard problem that we're going to discuss today, but we see that it's not really hard. It says that given n non-negative integers representing an elevation map, if you want the link to my submission as well, let me submit this once again. If you want the link to my submission as well, it's here. And this is the next problem. I'll send you the link of the next problem as well. Trapping rainwater. It says that given n non-negative integers representing an elevation map where the width of each bar is 1, compute how much water it can trap after raining. For example, in this example, if the elevation map is like this, 1 unit of water will be stored here, 1 unit here, 2 units here, 1 unit here, and 1 unit here. So its sum, you can see that will be 6. So how can we calculate it? Let's analyze the problem a little bit. Let's see that and at each index, how much water remains there, how much water will be trapped in that specific coordinate. For example, here it's 1, here it's 0, here it's 0, here is 1, here is 2, here is 1, here is 0, here is 0, here is 1, here is 0, here is 0. So it's like for each column, I see that how many units of water is there. At the end, I should calculate the sum of these numbers. But what is this? You can see that if to the right of this index, you have some bar such that it's longer than the bar here, and also to the left, we have some bar that is higher than our bar here, definitely some water will be trapped here. Some water will be trapped between these two bars that are longer. So basically what we can say is that in each position, you have to see that to the right, what is the longest bar that we have to its right? And what is the longest bar that we have it to its left? Definitely, the minimum of these two, if you consider the minimum of these two, definitely all in here water will be trapped. So you can be sure that there will be this much water trapped in here. Okay, you can be sure that this much water will be trapped in here. And it's also obvious that you cannot, more water will not be trapped here, because if you had one more unit of water here, this could fall from here. And because everything after it has less height as well, because this was the maximum height to the left of this element. So for each element, it's enough to find out that what is the longest bar to the left of it, what is the longest bar to the right of it, and take the minimum of these two. For example, for this one, the minimum to its left is 0, the maximum to its left is 0, the maximum to its right is 3. For this one, the maximum to its left is 1, maximum to its right is also 3, because we have a 3 in here. For this one, the maximum to the left 1, maximum to the right 3 again, maximum to the left 2, maximum to the right 3, maximum to the left 2, maximum to the right 3, maximum to the left 2, maximum to the right 3. For this one, maximum to the left 2 again, maximum to the right also 2. For this one, 3, 2. For this one, 3, 2. For this one, 3, 1. And for this one, 3, 0. And we have to see that what is the minimum of these two values. For example, for this one, the minimum of these two values is 0. For this one, the minimum of these two values is 1. For this one, 1. For this one, 2. For this one, 2. For this one, 2. For this one, 2. 2, 2, 1, 0. And this way you know that's how much potential each one of these have to have water. For example, this one has potential to have water till height 1. Because both to its left and to its right, we have something that has height at least 1. Also for this one, the potential is 2. Because both to its left and to its right, we have something with height at least 2. For this one, it's also 2. So you can see that what is the potential of each one of them. And you can subtract the height of its own bar from it. If it was a positive integer, you can add that to the amount of water that we have. And that's going to be all about this problem. We can keep a stack, or we don't need even a stack as well. Yes, we can even have prefix max and suffix max. Yes, we can have suffix max and prefix max. Yeah, and we don't need segment tree as well. We can do it in off and just prefix max and suffix max. It's very similar to prefix sum and suffix sum. If you need, you can also watch the video about prefix sum and suffix sum as well. You can find it in here. If you want, you can watch this video about prefix sum and suffix sum. It's exactly like that, and similar to what we did in the previous problem, that we had prefix product and suffix product. So we have some vector of vector of int of prefix, let's say pref, vector of int of suff, and in pref we initially push back 0 at the beginning, an additional 0 for an empty set, and then for int I equal to 0, I less than n I plus plus height of prefix dot pushback maximum of pref dot back, and let's move it to the next line, pref dot back and height of I. Now to suff pushback, let's see if okay, to suff push back 0 again for int I equal to n minus 1, I greater than or equal to 0, I minus 1 is. This is very similar to the previous problem. Basically, we are again having 4 on the prefixes and suffixes. Push back suff dot back, maximum of suff dot back, and height of I. And then, like the previous problem, let's reverse suff dot begin and suff dot end. And now let's have for I less than n I plus plus. Before it, the maximum height that we have before it is going to be pref of I, because as we said even also in the previous problem, pref of I is from 0 to I minus 1. So maximum height in the left part is going to be pref of I. Maximum height in the right part is going to be suff of I plus 1, because I plus 1, suff of I plus 1 has indices I plus 1, I plus 2, and so on. So we have these two values, and now we can say that ans will be added by, we have int of ans, or let's say answer plus equal to maximum of 0 and minimum of max L and max R, because minimum of these two values is that how much water can be stored here, minus height of I. and at the end we will return ans. That's all. This was how easily a Leetcode hard problem can be solved. I should return answer, not ans. And let's submit it. And it got accepted as well. So that was all about this problem. So basically you should just see that how much water can be trapped here and subtract its current height from it. Is it clear? I have received Amazon OA. I hope I get into it. Great, that's great. Yeah, thank you, Christopher. I hope that it is helping. Okay, shall we move on to the next problem now? The 7th problem. Okay, I guess that there are no questions. Yeah, okay, good, great. Awesome. And again, guys, I want you to ask you that if it is okay with you and it doesn't bother you or anything, if you are enjoying this video, like the video. It helps this video to be seen by more people, and it really helps the channel to grow. And if the channel grows, everything can get better in this channel. And I would also appreciate if you can support the channel to help the channel breathe and be able to grow further. Thank you, guys. Okay. Next problem. Yeah. The next hard problem. Now it's getting more and more interesting. Now we are getting where the problems are beautiful. It says that given two sorted arrays nums1 and nums2 of size m and n respectively, return the median of the two sorted arrays, and their overall runtime complexity should be of log of m plus n. This is really a beautiful problem. And this is where it gets nice. And even if you are usually code forces contestants, this problem is gonna be helpful for you because it is really beautiful. So for example, in here, if you merge these two arrays, each of them are sorted. If you merge them, you will have 1, 2, 3. So its median is gonna be 2. In here, if you merge these two, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. The median will be the average of these two middle elements because we have even numbers. So it will be 2.5. The median is the middle element in the sorted array. So if you merge these two arrays and sort them, the median will be the middle elements. If you have even numbers, there will be two middle elements, not one. And the median will be the average of those two. So this problem is asking you that what is going to be that median problem. First, let's assume that the sum of these two arrays, the length of these two arrays is odd, such that there will be one median. First, let's solve this case. First, let's not worry about the case where there are two medians. Let's see that how we can do it in log of m plus n. I want to first start with a solution that is not going to be very fast to have some idea about everything. The brute force idea, the very simple idea that we can have, the brute force idea, is to just easily do everything. I mean, just merge them. I mean, just append the second list to the first one. I mean, or second vector to the first vector, and sort the whole thing and return the middle one. This way, your solution will be O of n plus m times log of n plus m, which is gonna be too slow because in this problem it wants you to return in of log of n plus m. But you see that the first solution that comes to mind is not n plus m times log of n plus m. But let's see that how we can optimize it further. And really, thank you for sharing the link. This is my solution to the previous problem. This is my solution to this. This is the statement of this problem. Okay, so yes, we want to find the middle elements in here. What should we do? We say that let's consider that median. We have a median here. The point is that before this, there will be some elements that are from the first array and some elements which are from the second array, right? There will be some elements from the first array and some elements from the second array before these elements. And the question is that how many of them are from the first array, how many of them are from the second array? So the idea is that I want to find this border, right? I want to find out that how many elements are in here. You can simply say that there will be exactly n-1/2 elements in here, right? There will be n-1/2 elements in here. Or let's say that, let's even consider n-1/2. So I want to find out that what is gonna be, I want to find out the partition between the first n-1/2 elements, floor of n-1/2 elements, and the rest of sailing of n-1/2 elements. Now I want to do a binary search, but what should be the binary search on? The binary search, I will answer also your question, Aditya. The binary search will be that how many of them, how many of elements in here are from the first array, and basically based on that we are gonna have the numbers that are in the second array as well. So let's say that I have this binary search and I have started, for example, I say that okay, x of the elements are from the first array. If x elements are from the first array, I have some binary search, I do on x. Then how many should be from the second array if x elements are chosen from the first array? Thank you, Ali. If x elements are chosen from the first array, how many should be chosen from the second array so that they sum up to floor of n-1/2? It will be floor of n-1/2 minus x. So if I choose x elements from the first array, I should choose n-1/2 minus x elements from the second array, right? So that they will be the first half of my numbers. But maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. How should I check if it works or not? Consider these two elements, the last one in here and the last one in here. This partition is correct if and only if this element is less than this one and also this element is less than this one. Only in this case we can say that really this blue and red parts are all before the rest of the elements. Only in this case it means that these elements are before the other elements. So the maximum of these two must be less than the minimum of these two. Only in that case the partition is correct. Otherwise, what can we say? Assume that this is not the case. For example, assume that this is greater than or equal to this. This is greater than this. If this one is greater than this one, it means that x should be lower than what it is right now. Why x should be lower than what it is right now? Because these elements, if it is in the first half, definitely this one will be in the second half, because we don't have enough space for this one to be in the first half as well. But this is a contradiction because this one is greater than this one. So definitely this one cannot be in the first half. On the other hand, assume that this one is greater than this one. The last element of this second part is less than this first element of this one. In this case, also we can say that x should be greater than this value. Otherwise, if x is less than that, definitely this one will be in the first half, this one will be in the second half, which doesn't work again. So in that case, we should search for greater values of x. If both of them work, if this one, both of these numbers were greater than both of these white numbers were greater than both of these black numbers, then it is correct and we have partitioned it correctly. We have found what is the first n half numbers and what is the rest of them. I will answer that, Aditya. So basically, this is the idea that we will say on this problem. Each time we will fix some x, we say that, okay, assume that x numbers from the first array will be in the first half of the final array. Then n half minus x of them are from the second one. We check that if that makes sense or not. And it's easy to say that it's not possible that both this is greater than this and this one is greater than this. This does never make sense. Why these two never make sense? Why these two never happen? Because we already know that this one is less than this one, because it goes after this one, or at least greater than or equal to. Also, this one is greater than or equal to this one. You can see that if this happens, we have a cycle that we start from a number and go to itself, and we get a greater number. I mean, for example, if this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, we know that C is less than or equal to D, A is less than or equal to B. If both C is greater than B and A is greater than D, this is a contradiction. Why? Because A is greater than D, which is greater than or equal to C, which is greater than B, which is greater than or equal to A. So A is greater than A. This is a contradiction. So that never happens. Only one of these two conditions won't work. So each time we fix x elements from the first array, and assume that, okay, x elements from the second array go to the first half. And we say that, okay, the rest should be from the second array. And we check if it makes sense. If the greatest element of the first array is now less than the least element of the second array that goes to the second half, and vice versa, the greatest element of the second array that goes to the first half, comparing to the last elements of the first array. If both of them are correct, it means that yes, we have partitioned it correctly. Otherwise, it's not partitioned correctly. And this way we can easily find the answer. We can find the partition, and then if it is, if the total size is odd, you can say that maximum of these two numbers will be exactly in the middle. Sorry, minimum of these two numbers. Minimum of these two numbers will be exactly in the middle. Otherwise, if it is even, it means that minimum of these two numbers will be this median, maximum of these two will be this median. So we will calculate the average of these two numbers. So basically, the main idea was to find out that how many elements are gonna be from the first array in the first half, how many are from the second array in the first half. Is there any trick you use to get idea on how to solve difficult problems? Let's talk about that. Guys, as I said a million times before, the main thing that you should do is to solve a lot of problems. As you solve more and more problems, these patterns will repeat in your mind, and your mind will have some clue about how to solve such problems. Thank you very much. So you will have some idea about how these problems will be solved. If I want me to tell you about my own intuition on solving this problem, the point is that when I saw log of n plus m, let me tell you that how you can think of this. When you see log of m plus n, it gives you some hint on using binary search. And you have to somehow do the binary search on one of the arrays this way. So the point is that, okay, you can fix one of them, binary search on that, and see that, okay, how many are from the second array. So, and also log of, when you see log of m plus n, it gives you also some idea that maybe it's good to have binary search on only one of the arrays, because log of m plus n is equal to log of maximum of m and n. Their complexity is equal. So, okay, now that we are doing binary search on one of the arrays, okay, it means that it splits the array into two parts. So what can we do about the second one? As you just struggle with the problem a little bit and exploring different ideas, it can come to your mind that, okay, it can be the number of elements that go in the first half in the final array. And we are fixing that x elements go to the first half from the first number, and n half minus x one of them go in the first half from the second number, second array. And this way you can calculate the final answer. Is it clear what I'm saying, guys? If any part is not clear, let me know to explain it again. If it's clear, please, great. Please use the plus or say that or put this emoji. Okay. So do you want me to implement it as well? Or do you prefer to move on to the next problem? Accepted. Next problem or implementation. If we implement this, then definitely we cannot implement the next problem. Maybe it's better if we talk about the next problem and you can see the implementation afterwards. So in these wanted to see my level compared to the G. Let's see how are the rules. Next problem, implement it. Next problem, next. Okay, so more of you say next. I also was thinking that maybe solving one more problem might be more helpful right now. But guys, make sure to accept all these problems. After this live stream, repeat these in your mind, everything that you learned in your mind. Maybe it's better if you just open the problems and maybe you don't remember some parts of the solution. It's okay, it's even good. Think about it again. And if you needed hints, just go and watch that part in the video once again to see that what was the solution for that part. But make sure to accept it. Make sure to accept these problems in Leetcode. Get this accepted, this green accepted text. Otherwise, if you don't accept them, it has no benefits for you. So let's move on to the next problem, maximum gap. Although it's medium, I was thinking that it's hard, but it's harder than the previous hard problems. Let me tell you the problem. It says that given, let me send you the link as well. This problem, in my opinion, was harder than the previous problems. But let me tell you about this. Given an integer array, nums return the maximum difference between two successive elements in its sorted form. If the array contains less than 2 elements, return 0. So basically, you have to return the maximum difference between two successive elements in the sorted form. And your algorithm must run in linear time. If it didn't need to run in linear time, we could sort it in O of n log n and just compare each two consecutive numbers, take maximum. But we can't sort right now. It should be linear. And the extra space must be linear as well. So we cannot do anything about that. The extra space and the time complexity, both of them should be linear. They should be, for example, O of n. They cannot be more than O of n. So what can we do? There's a very beautiful idea, very beautiful, interesting idea. Guys, consider the maximum number and minimum number that we have. Can we give a lower bound on the answer based on the lower bound, and can we give a lower bound on the final answer based on maximum and minimum? We want to find out the maximum gap between two elements. Yeah, if the number of elements is not bigger than 10 to the power 6, we can use frequency area as well. But right now they are up to 10 to the power of 9, 10 to the 9th right now. I want to ask you if you can give me a lower bound on the final answer. No, max minus min is not a lower bound, it's an upper bound. It's an upper bound because we know that the answer cannot be more than this. But that's good. We have a lower bound. We know that answer is at most max minus min. But can we give a lower bound as well on answer? 0, that's right, but any better lower bound? Yes, 0 always holds. But can you also give a better lower bound, a greater lower bound? think about a very famous and beautiful mathematical principle. Maybe think a little bit about it. How can I find a lower bound on the answer? Anyone who can find the lower one on the answer, I will do a kudos to him. Can we square root the size and find the smallest and largest element of each section? The idea of making blocks is good, but we don't want to use a square root. No, a square root will not give us the linear solution. How do you find lower bound in an unsorted array? I want to say that for sure my answer is going to be greater than this. When I know minimum and maximum, I want to be sure that my answer is definitely at least this much. And I give you a hint. Use pigeonhole principle. See how can you use a pigeonhole principle to exactly, not exactly, but you were close. I think you had a typo. Yeah, maximum minus minimum over n minus 1. Let's say n minus 1. Because if you sort that, a minimum comes first and maximum comes last. And you have several jumps. You have n minus 1 pairs, n minus 1 consecutive elements. So the lower bound of the answer is gonna be max minus min over n minus 1. There will be at least 2 elements such that their difference is at least this much, max minus min over n minus 1. Yeah, great, Bami Dipati. Sorry, Bami Dipati. Let me know if I'm mispronouncing it. I'm trying to learn the names. So we know that the lower bound is gonna be max minus min over n minus 1. Yeah. So now that we know this, can you guys do you guys all agree? You can call me Satwik. Okay. Or Satwik is real. I don't know the correct pronunciation. But is it clear so far for everyone? If you have any questions so far about it, let me know. So far, I just said that my answer is going to be at least max minus min over n minus 1. I'm sure that the answer is going to be this much. Now, using this idea, I'm going to do something similar to what Shohanor suggested. I'm going to make blocks. How does that work? You know, I have this minimum and I have this maximum. Consider these numbers. Consider these numbers from this minimum to this maximum. I will make blocks of size this. Let's call this number as gap. I know that my final answer is going to be at least this gap, or let's use G instead. Call this number G. I'm going to make blocks of size G. How does this help us creating blocks of size G? The help that it does for us, let's do it like this. This wasn't very equal, but let's write it like this. So we have blocks of size G. The most important thing that we can say is that the two numbers that their difference is at least G, they are definitely not from the same block. The two numbers the pair that give us the answer do not belong to the same block. Because if two numbers belong to the same block, their difference is gonna be at most g minus 1. That's the most important thing that we can say in here, and it's where it's getting very beautiful. They do not belong to the same block. And now the next question is that how many blocks do we have? The number of blocks that we have is gonna be max minus min over g. And what is max minus min over g? Max minus min over g, we know that g itself is almost equal to, max minus min. G itself was max minus min over n minus 1. So it is almost n. This max minus min cancels this max minus min. This n minus 1 goes to the numerator. Anyway, the number of blocks is going to be almost n. The main point is this. We have made some blocks. Each block is of size g, and because g itself was max minus min over n minus 1, or let's say max minus min over n, the number of blocks is going to be at most n. So we have n blocks, O of n blocks. We have O of n blocks. So then after this, what we do is this. What we do next is going to iterate over all elements. For each element, we see that to which block it belongs. For each element, we see that to which block it belongs, and we will update the maximum value and minimum value of that block. And then we will have a for from each block only maximum and minimum of its matter. Because a middle one, we know that both its next elements and previous element, both of them belong to the same block. So, and we know that they definitely do not make an answer more than gap or more. So they will not be our answer. So from each block, only its maximum and minimum matters. We have n blocks. From each one of them, we have maximum and minimum. So we can next have a for on the blocks. As we go over the blocks, each time we have an answer cumulative maximum that we have so far. Each time we see that what is the minimum of current one minus the maximum of the previous one, the last elements that the previous ones had. And the maximum of all these values is going to be the maximum gap between two elements. Did you enjoy the solution or not? Was it beautiful or what? If you understood it, please put a plus or use the 100 emoji. If you had any question or you didn't understand it well, let me know to explain it again. This is the same as there will be x different values of I modulo x. Not different values of I modulo x, I over x, I think. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe. So is it completely clear for you guys? It's very lovely application of pigeonhole. Exactly, it was really lovely. The solution was really lovely. It was so beautiful. It was the best problem that I left it for the last problem. And it was even harder than the previous hard problems. It was more beautiful, way more beautiful. Find the maximum length of a good subsequence 2. This is a problem. Maybe we can, if it's a problem, maybe we can discuss these problems in the next sessions. Guys, if you join the Telegram channel, I will also put a post in which you can put the problems that you want me to discuss. So I will put a message in here that you can put the messages that you want, the problems that you want me to discuss. You can put the problems there, and I will look at them, and if they were good, I will add them to the next topic streams to be discussed. Let me send you, I think you have the link of the Telegram channel here as well in the pinned message. I will send it again here. And guys, if you enjoyed the video, again, if it's something okay with you, let's see how many likes do we have so far. You have 79 likes. Thank you guys very much for that. If you are really enjoying the video, I would appreciate it if you can like the video or subscribe to the channel. And if you really want to support the channel as well so that it can continue to live and even get to the next level, I'm really trying to think about bringing it to the next level. And I think that if we remove some barriers, we can really do that. And I want your help in this journey as well. So if you want to support the channel and I want to also get more from this channel, you can join into one of these 4 tiers. Okay, great, thank you very much. I see. Maybe you can watch this part that I will explain it once again if it was not completely clear. But if you want, maybe in one of the future topic streams we can cover topics like pigeonhole principle as well. Okay, why don't you do Leetcode contest discussions, because it will be very close to what companies are asking right now. The point is that their timings are not good in here, in where I live. The timings are not good, so most of the times when I want to do that, the timing is not good. And that's why I'm trying to bring the channel to the next level, because I want to ask others to stream on this channel when I cannot do it. Ask other people who also explain very well. But that also needs money. I'm paying a lot to the streamers. So far I have spent around, as I said before, more than $1,000 on the channel, and that is causing some issues and barriers. I mean, I did it happily. I'm happy that I've done this, and this channel is still what I'm proud of, and I think one of the greatest things that I've done. But I think that there are some limitations, and I cannot do this without considering anything. So that's why we are looking very forward to moving to the next levels. I will try to discuss Leetcode solution discussions if I can find time, but I hope that as the channel gets to a better situation, we can also ask others to do solution discussions as well. And guys, stay tuned for the next video. It will be released very soon, and I'm sure that you guys are gonna love it. I'm gonna talk about the most fatal mistakes that people make in learning competitive programming and algorithms and data structures. It will be released very soon. Awesome. So see you guys next time. Goodbye for now, guys. Thank you for joining.